The following program is made possible with the support of Papa John's Pizza, Sam's Club, and PortCityDaily.com.
Second round of the state playoffs for high school football is in the books. Unfortunately for some of our teams here in New Hanover County, we have just one local football program remaining moving into Friday night's kickoff in the third round. One of those unfortunate scenarios brings us to our first guest tonight, and New Hanover football coach Earl Smith. The Wildcats fell to Cardinal Gibbons 31-13, and I said it in my article, Coach at PortCityDaily.com. I thought the playmakers on each side of the football were much more even than the final score than we saw 31-13. But as you said during the postgame, missed tackles, penalties, not executing down in the red zone were some things that really hampered you in that season-ending setback to Cardinal Gibbons.
And first of all, my hat's off to Cardinal Gibbons coaching staff and players. They came in with a great game plan and executed it, and were flawless. And against a team of that caliber, you can't make those mistakes. You get down the red zone, 4th and 1, you got to punch it in.
I thought in your two most recent setbacks, one to Cardinal Gibbons, the one to West Brunswick, kind of the same things kind of hampered you. You moved the ball in between the 20s. You had getting to your playmakers, Lamont Howard making some stretch in the field. You're getting defensive stops when you need to, but then you turn the ball right back over, and I think that proved costly to you in this ball game.
Yeah, it's been a theme of inconsistency all year, especially our offensive line, and that's something we're definitely going to have to shore up next year.
You have 20 seniors on the team that you're going to lose. A couple of them are some big names, Jemias Williams, Khalil Barfield, Tony. We were just talking about them, two kind of hog mollies up in the middle that clog up the run game. What did they mean to your defense, and how much are you going to miss those two next year?
Yeah, well, those are two big shoes to fill. We're going to have to get to work there. But, we got seven other defensive players coming back, which is good, and the skill positions. And offensively, got a good core coming back also with Blake and Wiz.
Forgot to mention, too, on the defensive end, Jahan Simmons, an outside linebacker, that really great kid, and he put in a good effort for you, changing positions from offense to defense going into his senior season. Tough thing to do, but he came along with that linebacking unit. 3 of those 4 you'll get back in Troy McCaskill, Grant Daly, and Nas Brown. Let's get to some of the highlights from the 31-13 setback for New Hanover over at Legion Stadium.
Yeah, here's this particular play up front does a great job. Finishes here by Khalil and Jemias in the middle, plugging up the ISO. Here's a screen to Wiz, little outside screen, good block out there by Jairee. Wiz does his thing and picks up a first down.
That kind of set the tone early for you with that hard-nosed run after Cardinal Gibbons went down the field and scored on you in that first drive.
Little draw outside trap by Keegan, and picks up good yardage here. Like you just said, Jahan Simmons played his heart out. Right here he makes a tackle, and one of his best games all year. Here's a big hit on the quarterback and the pitch man on their option. Troy McCaskill finishing it off there on the pitch man. Another great block here by Jairee, and Wiz again on our bubble screen. Really great touch here, a throw by Blake to Jairee on our screen and go. It's Jairee in the end zone, wide open. I can't say enough about our linebackers. Here's great pursuit. Nas making the final tackle there for a big loss. Here's back-to-back plays by Jahan. He's a great young man. We're really working hard. He needs to be playing somewhere next year, and makes a tackle here. Comes back again. This was a play that hurt us off and on all night. He did a really good job there. Lamont had a big night on our little screen plays. Keeps it, and gets off the block, tackle, and great second effort to pick up a big first down. This was where we went down and came up short, 4th and 1. That would have cut it to 10 in the third quarter. Another good run by Keegan Santos, we're really going to miss this young man. He's just a great young man. Of course, he'll be playing lacrosse on the next level.
That would have been a touchdown if the umpire didn't get in the way.
Yep. Here's Grant Daly. They scoop and score here, 95-yard run. Interesting that the back who got 200 yards on us right here couldn't catch him, so that's a good sign for next year.
Grant totally gassed after taking a 95-yard touchdown on the fumble recovery. For Cardinal Gibbons, like you said, they were as advertised. They had a quarterback who injured himself last year. He came back this season, really stormed this team to where they are right now. And your defense was on the field for long periods of time. I think they had two basically drove the length of the field twice in that game. So for the New Hanover defense to stick in the game, get stops when they needed to, you got to be proud of the effort that you guys gave, despite some of the things you did to shoot yourselves in the foot.
Yeah, just other than the missed tackles, which was big, but yeah, great effort. We've got some seniors we're really going to miss, but real excited about the future. And our JV team went 9-1, and so hoping to get right back in it this week.
We highlighted some of those defensive players that you'll be missing. Some of the offensive players you talked about, one being Keegan Santos, going to go play lacrosse at Hofstra. Javion Hall, another one of your running backs. Lamont Howard, a wideout, along with some of your offensive linemen. Some of the people coming back, though, Wiz Vaughn, a special kid for you, big-time playmaker. And your quarterbacks, Blake Walston, a kid that put some, another 10 pounds on him, 15 pounds, and he could really be one of the premier quarterbacks, not only in the area, but I think across the state.
Yeah, he's got a great future ahead of him. He showed on one of the runs the other night, and also blocking downfield. He's a tough kid, and he's got pretty good speed for his size.
Comes from a tough family, obviously. His brother up at Carolina. His dad is a monster of a guy, so I know that he's going to bring forth some good leadership to this program. Coach, a couple of years back now, you're back here in Wilmington. How has the whole, now the move is set, you're here, but how has the whole return to the Port City been for you?
And my wife and I talk about it daily. We couldn't be happier, and loving it here, loving living here, and got my grandson here, and just doing what I like to do. I'm enjoying, looking forward to come back next year and my third season, or actually fifth season, but third recently.
Well, Coach, get some rest. I know you need it, and we'll be looking forward to you getting back on the football field soon and talking to you. Thanks, Joe. Thanks to Coach Earl Smith for stopping by all season here on Sports Roundtable. New Hanover, unfortunately, fell 31-13, second round of the state playoffs to Cardinal Gibbons. Coming up here, second quarter of the show, it'll be the Laney Buccaneers. The Bucs went on the road, nearly pulled off the biggest upset in the state in round 2 of the state playoffs. However, they fell to Wake Forest, top seed in the 4AA playoffs, in a game that would have made your grandfathers very happy, 7-6 in favor of Wake Forest over Laney. Coach Ashad Yeoman coming up after the break here on Sports Roundtable.
Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. Salad on Saturday, fruit on Friday, throw a ball Thursday. Water Wednesday, touch your toes Tuesday. Let's move Monday, swap snacks Sunday. All the healthy children eat well and move a lot. And move a lot. And move a lot. Eat well and move a lot. 60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. So keep them active and eating well every day. Skip a rope Saturday, freeze tag Friday, tap dance Thursday. Whole grains Wednesday, try a veggie Tuesday. Let's move Monday, split the sweet Sunday. Eat well and move a lot. Today is Saturday. Yeah. Today is Saturday. All the healthy children, all the healthy children. Get ideas. Get involved. Get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
High school football fans, welcome back to Sports Roundtable, playoff edition of tonight's show. Thanks again to Coach Earl Smith from New Hanover High School for stopping by in our last segment. As we head out on the road again for round 2 of the state playoffs, the Laney Buccaneers nearly pulled off an enormous feat against top-seeded Wake Forest in a 4AA matchup up in Wake County. Final score 7-6 as the Bucs saw their season come to an end. They were up early, took the lead into halftime. Wake Forest scored in the second half, and the Bucs just couldn't get enough mustard on their offense to come away with the what would have been an incredible victory. Coach Ashad Yeoman going to join me right now here on set for the final time this season. And Coach, you got to be real proud of your boys. One, probably didn't give not yourself or your team, but a lot of people probably didn't give Blaney much of a chance to go out on the road and pick up a win in the first round of the state playoffs, let alone go out on the road for the second time and nearly knock off a number 1 seed, 7-6. You got to be sitting there thinking, man, we were right in this one the whole way.
Yeah, I mean, we don't listen to the noise, you know what I mean? It's about us as a group, as a whole, believing in each other, and I'm proud of the guys and the way they showed up because, I mean, we knew this was going to be a dogfight. We wanted to be in it, and in order to get to the top of that hill, when it comes to playoffs, it's going to come down to the team with the most heart.
At the end of the day, the Laney defense is something that you've hung your hat on all season. This team can pretty much hang with any high-powered offense, I would say, in the state right now. And you're going to lose a lot of those seniors, obviously, a lot of big playmakers for you on that side of the ball. But talk about their effort, the game plan going into this game against Wake Forest, and how they executed that game plan.
It was big. I mean, when you look at the film, a lot of the guys did their job, and that's one of the things that we talk about as a coach is don't try to do too much. Just do your job. And when we watch the film, you'll see a lot of plays that they possibly could have made on us, but because that guy did his job, we were in position to stop those plays. And I mean, they threw everything at us. I mean, my boys were resilient, and they did a great job of just finishing the game.
On that defensive side of the football, a lot of seniors that you're going to miss, as we mentioned. Ryan Dabrowski, Lewis Powell, Deontay Hicks, Trayvon McGee up front, Cayman Cizak at the middle linebacker position, secondary, Eli Boone, Carl Lane, I think, is a senior as well. Or
he's a junior.
Bloodworth, maybe?
Bloodworth.
Carmel
Yes,
Bloodworth, another secondary guy that you're going to miss. So talk about the impact that they have made here on Laney football and what they're going to leave behind.
Oh, man, it's been huge. Again, I had these guys since they were sophomores. I threw them in the fire right away, and, they've answered the bell. I mean, they never gave up. I mean, it's been tough, and they just been fighting. In the offseason, they worked their tails off, and then, this past season we talked about the mental side of it, working on leadership skills and what it's going to take for us to, take the next step. And they've taken to it and listened, and now we got a great foundation being built, and we're just going to build upon what they've done.
On the road for the second straight playoff game, Laney Buccaneers took on Wake Forest. Let's get to some of the highlights.
Yes, first play of the game. Obviously, we don't kick the ball too deep. We got a freshman kicker in Owen Daffer. He did a great job. He onside it. Their kid comes up. It looked like he was going to go short, but he touches it, and we recover it and get a big stop. And this is Cayman Cizak, man. He's just a jack of all trades. I just want to show that. He showed up as a punter for us late in the season, and look at the job he's done there. He's come up with some first downs for us too, as well. But you can't tell, but Carl Lane is actually helping force this play. But that's a great job of the guys checking into the defense and getting to the tackler, because we knew it was going to take 11 hands to the ball. And it was Eli Boone on a big play. They were coming up on, they were driving, and we needed a stop. Well, we don't see it, but Alfahim Walcott came up with a huge catch in traffic, and then takes it down to about the 7-yard line, and then Amik punches it in after that. And then again, another play fake, and Carl Lane, my junior safety, comes up with a huge pick. And then there's a little variation on the little out for out to Justin Billingsley, works to perfection. And again, it's a great job with the guys up front defensively doing their job and executing. And then again, see, they had the screen set up. That's something that we work on every week in practice. Ball disruption drill, getting our hands up if we can't get to the quarterback, and that was a great job by Trayvon coming up with that. They had it set up, but we did a good job of executing. And then Bradshaw, man, Thomas Bradshaw. I talked about him last week. He did a great job this game, particularly here, and they had a tough time sledding, getting his way. But again, Cizak also had a great game, and there's Lewis Powell. But you can't tell, but the silent assassin had the screen covered. They had a little tendency on that screen, and he stays at home and allowed Lewis Powell to make his first sack of the season, if I'm not mistaken. And again, you can't tell, but Thomas Bradshaw does a great job of spilling that back to the mic and giving Cizak an opportunity to make that tackle. That kid Dexter Lawrence, his brother, I mean, he's good, man. We did a good job of bottling him up all night. He did get that one touchdown in the end. And giving the shout out to my boy Austin Nally there on the big catch. We don't throw to the fullback too often, but he came up with a huge catch to keep the drive going. And then, Carl Lane, baby. I'm telling you, that kid, I mean, he was inconsistent at the beginning of the year, so we were exchanging reps with him and another guy, and me and him had a little sit down, man, and he just took to it and turned it on. They actually had 1st and 10 at the 10 there, and just threw the ball, and it actually helped us out. So came up with the pick with Trayvon Green again, second week in a row, and Alfine Walcott came up with some huge catches to keep the chains moving. It's almost like if we put it in his area, he was going to come down with it. And even at the final play of the game, he had an opportunity to make a play on it, just barely missed that ball for a first down. But here's some dirty runs by Meek. I mean, I'm proud of the effort that he had all night. I mean, those guys were big, tough, physical. It was a great game. I mean, as a football coach, this is what you look for. I mean, I know the fans love all that passing and all that kind of stuff like that, but I mean, this was a knockdown dogfight right here. They, again, threw the kitchen sink at us, went for the punt fake. Trayvon Green, my senior, comes up with a huge hit. The guy drops the ball, and we take over on downs. And this is a huge third down, get the ball, get the chains moving. We did a great job offensively. I mean, we did some things that kind of shot us in the foot a little bit, but man, it was just a tough physical game, and it was exciting.
You got to think a team like Wake Forest has enjoyed a ton of success over the course of their season, and then they're sitting there at halftime wondering how they have no points on the scoreboard. Your defense played assignment football, so they had a lot of misdirection in their offense, a lot of screen passes, so it's very important that each individual player does what they need to do, and I thought you did that on the defensive end. On the offensive side, a guy you're going to really miss next year, Imeke Watkins. We talked about him all season. We've talked about him for the last 4 seasons. What kind of mentality and effort does he bring to the practice field that you're going to miss most?
Man, he brings a hard hat every single week. He's not much of a talker. Even with the skill set he has, he's a great player. He's not cocky. He's very confident in himself. But just the work ethic that he brings every single day, he brings it. And I hope again that the young guys see the fruits of his labor and all the work that he's put in.
Coach, it's been fun catching up with you throughout the course of the season. You got your alma mater back to where you wanted to. You got a playoff win, first time since 2011. You're right here on the cusp, I think, of putting this Bucks football program over the top. So congrats on a great season, and we look forward to talking to you next year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Coach Ashad Yeoman. Following the Bucks' season-ending setback 7-6 against top-seeded Wake Forest, the Bucks again picked up their first playoff win back in the first round since 2011. Big reason for that is the head coach of the Laney Bucks, Ashad Yeoman. We'll wrap up the show with Hoggard victorious football following the Vikings' road win over J.H. Rose to close out the second round of the state playoffs after this here on Sports Roundtable.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on the sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Roundtable. We will wrap up tonight's show on a high note. One team left in the area still competing in the state playoffs, and that's the Hoggard Vikings. The Vikes went on the road for the second straight week, got the offense going early and often. Defense doing things early in the ball game, kept them in late, and the Vikings picked up a huge 65-41 victory over J.H. Rose in Greenville. Coach Craig Underwood joining me now here on set. And Coach, how important is it, I guess, on the road to get off to a good start and really, put the home team and the more favorable seed on their heels in a ball game like this?
Oh, I think it's a huge factor. We've been able to do it 2 straight weeks, and if you go back to early in the season when we were not winning close ball games, a lot of it went down to getting in a hole early and having to fight back. So I think our guys have matured and learned that lesson a little bit. 6
wins in a row now, I think you got, playing some of your best football when it matters most. Going into this game, you knew that J.H. Rose was going to bring some offense to the table. Yeah. So for the defense to step up early and allow your offense to put some points on the board, that must have been a huge part of you eventually picking up the win.
Oh, certainly. The offense has continued clicking and really playing well. J.H. Rose Defensively was really trying to limit the passing game, so it opened huge running lanes for Rashad and Tony, and then offensive line, 400 yards rushing, so it's incredible. More like a basketball score than I'm used to, especially on the defensive side. But I will say that if you track the game, there are multiple 3 and outs from our defense. We had a couple turnovers we forced, gave up a couple late scores that it was 58-27 with I think 5 minutes left. So.
5 touchdowns from Tony Allen, 400 yards on the ground. How much do you think goes into watching footage throughout the course of a season on a team rather than maybe the last couple of weeks where you did go to the air more often than used the ground attack?
Well, I think I wouldn't want to be defending us right now. Just a credit to our offensive staff. Coach Demick and those guys do a great job of mixing it up and also trying to take what you're giving to them. Hillside was very focused on taking away the run game, which opened the passing game, and Rose was vice versa. So,
Well, we're getting ready for a big test, obviously, coming up on Friday. But let's get to some of the highlights from this one. 400 yards on the ground, Coach said. 65 points on the board. There's Tony Allen getting in the end zone, or Rashad Wallace in the end zone.
Yeah, it's first play from scrimmage, went for a touchdown, so Rashad Wallace right away. Again, defensively, started the game back-to-back 3 and outs, really stuffing their run game. They were averaging, well over 200 yards a game with number 12 running the ball, and to limit him, I think we held him to 86 yards. So, again, the score a little bit deceiving there. Had him punting out of the end zone. Like to think a little pressure helped contribute to that bad snap and got a safety out of the deal. So here's our offense's second straight possession, starting with a great field position. And here we go, Josh Jones to Colin Hare. Getting kind of used to seeing those two connect in the last few games. That ball was actually tipped, and Hare was able to keep his focus and catch it as he was going down on his back. So there's the first of several for Tony. Again, major credit to the offensive line for getting a push multiple times. This is Lloyd Giroux coming through with a big push and blocking the extra point after Rose's first score. So, they're trying to get back a little bit of momentum. We really sell that, extra point block being a key play in the football game. Again, pounding it inside. The run game was incredible. That offensive line, I'm so proud of those guys. Back on the defensive side of the ball here, you see Rose kept us in spread formations most of the night. This is Keon Bradley coming up on a little quick screen out there. Great job in form tackling. On that particular play, on that particular series, he had 2 back-to-back that held him short of the sticks, forcing a punt. Tip ball from Mackenzie Frazier. Frazier just a force off the end, really playing his best football right now. This is with about 3 seconds left to go in the half. A little trick play drawn up. Give Coach Perzitza credit. He was the one that says, how about this play? And sure enough, Coach Demick and I said, let's do it. And touchdown to Austin Edwards there. It's a big play. Tony Allen back in the red zone. Early in the year, again, we're losing some games by 1 point, 2 points, 4 points. We weren't finishing in the red zone. We've done a much better job of that as of late. Play action. Hare's able to get behind the coverage. Again, that's a credit to that run game, opening up those deep balls. Great ball, great catch. Tony Allen pounding in again. You see just the excitement with the guys. They're having fun playing football right now. That's one of the best things to see as a coach. Is it's getting late in the season. Some other sports are starting, and our guys are still loving playing football. So proud of them. Again, Rose really high-powered on offense. This is Keon Bradley coming back. It actually took a pretty nasty shot in the knee earlier and had to come out of the game. He's our senior captain. To come back in and get an interception, it's actually he's had a bunch of pass breakups. That was his first pick of the year, so couldn't happen to a better young man. Tony, again, just splitting them. You see his acceleration there. Our kickoff coverage was something we focused big time on this past week, as Hillside exposed us quite a bit there. Jeremiah Kim coming back and getting some deep kickoffs. Big hit on the sideline there from Marcus Molina. We had multiple other kickoffs that kept them inside the 20. Not quite sure why Coach picked that one, but that's all right. Again, Tony Allen getting out in space. This is Tony's biggest game of the year. And again, a young man that has worked and worked and worked. He and Rashad both just do incredible things. Again, not hiding what we're doing here. Just Good old power eye wedge and slam it in there.
Coach, some impressive things you're doing on the offensive side of the football. A guy that stood out, Keon Bradley, a kid that moved positions from, transitioned, that's what I was trying to say, transitioned from receiver to defensive back this year.
Right.
It's good to see him make some open field tackles, really settling in. And then he looked like a wide receiver going back to his days of catching passes with that big grab there. So on the defensive side, you did enough. And like you said, 2 touchdowns late in the game. You know, yeah, you would have liked to hold them to 27, but a team like J.H. Rose, you know they're not going to give up with their season on the line. So with that said, a complete effort for your team for the second straight week. Doesn't get much easier, though. You're going to head out to Laurinburg to take on a Scotland County team. What do you see from them that's going to give you fits here come Friday?
Well, I mean, the run game, you know, their run game is, they've got 2 backs that are incredible. The quarterback can run it too. So, you know, and then all the play action passing and you know, just deep balls that they can throw off of that is incredibly dangerous. And then they're big up front defensively. Their inside linebackers in particular are really impressive, and their secondary strong. So, I mean, it's the 3rd round. They're a good football team. Yeah,
anytime you get to December football, you're going to be facing some of the best in the state, and tall task here. But let's keep the Viking ship moving come Friday as you head out to Laurinburg.
Sounds good. We're excited about it.
Coach Craig Underwood with the Hoggard Vikings following the 65-41 victory over J.H. Rose on the road for the 2nd straight week. Hoggard has won 6 in a row as they get ready to take on Scotland County in the 3rd round of the state playoffs coming up on Friday. Thanks to all the coaches for stopping by here on Sports Roundtable this week. We will catch up with Coach Underwood next week following the game against the Scots. That'll do it for our latest edition, our playoff edition of Sports Roundtable. Until next time.